Alrighty, guys, episode 4 of Talking TMNT Toys with our buddy Josh. Great to see you as always, guys. We are in the year 1991. Now, Playmates went banana in this year in regards to just totally producing. Not that I don't mind having all these, some were cool, but just for the sake of this podcast not being a 10-hour video, we're going to cut the fat a little bit, and we're going to, again, our main focus is the basic assortment. But Josh, while we get started, let's just briefly go through all these varieties. We've got sports turtles, rock and roll turtles, storage shell turtles, all 4 of them this time. Earlier we had a Donatello, mutant military, talking turtles, head dropping turtles, and 2 more wacky action figures with machine gun and rocksteady and headspin and bebop. So what's your take on all of these varieties, and did you have a particular favorite or any value in any of these mass-produced turtle varieties here?
Okay, so just to start with, I'll say like the sports turtles. This is kind of like a spin-off of the wacky action. All the sports turtles had some sort of action feature, and the action features on these were pretty much the action features that we saw on the Hasbro WWF figures. So like Shell Slamming Mikey, his legs and arm, his upper body have a spring motion, and Slapshot Leo's got a waist spring motion. So we're seeing things that were selling well with other toys, being put into the Ninja Turtles. You just got like different actions. The talking ones, we all know that in the early 90s, things that talked. I mean, we all remember the late 80s Teddy Ruxpin and stuff like that. Yeah, they were doing anything they could to give you a new Ninja Turtle to buy. So anything that was selling somewhere else, they're going to convert that to a Ninja Turtle. So there's a lot of kids playing sports. Everybody that I knew in the 90s played some youth sport. I've got a lot of my kids' friends that don't play any these days.
Yeah, back in our day, though. Nope, I agree.
When we were kids, I mean, you pretty much played summer ball or soccer or whatever. I mean, whatever was going on, football, didn't matter. But so sports is big. Like I said, the talking stuff's big. Any kind of thing that was doing well somewhere else, they were going to slap that Ninja Turtles name on. So as far as value, let me open the list again so I make sure I'm seeing everything.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Your sports turtles, again, you should be able to buy them loose complete in the $20 range, with like the exception of like you may not get all of Slapshot Leo's pucks for $20, but you should get at least one. You know what I mean? Like he comes with 3, and they're a pretty hard accessory to find. But you can buy them in the package. These are some of the cheapest figures you can buy still on the card. So yeah, like a $20 for a loose complete is somewhere in the right range. The rock and roll turtles are a little more sought after. Lots of fans of rock and roll turtles,
including me. These ones are cool.
They're a cool line. Definitely cooler than some of the other ones that came out in 1991. They probably run just a little higher. I would imagine you're probably paying somewhere, and I haven't looked this up, this is just off the top of my head, but I'd imagine you're paying somewhere $5 range on them. Maybe even 40, depending on how nice they are, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, Rock and Rollin' Turtles, you're going to have a variant on the Raph. The Raph's going to have Red Star and Red Star with black dot. There's no price difference there, but there is a variant there. Sports Turtles, you're going to have a variant on TD Toss and Leo. You're going to have a long hand peg and short hand peg. Again, no price difference, so it's just a variant to track down, not anything that's going to let you retire. Slam Dunk and Don's a couple different variants based on when he was released. We're in 1991, so technically White Jersey Don hasn't been released yet, but that is a variant of that figure, and that's a very high dollar figure. Last loose complete of a White Jersey Don sold for 1,876, I think, just a couple weeks ago on eBay. So that's a big time one. But Then we got Shell Slim Mike has a variant pink tights and orange tights, just like a couple of the other different mics in the vintage line. They always bounce between pink and orange. Not really sure what happened there, but. And then storage shell turtles. Again, the black belts were released later down the line, but there are a variant of the storage shells. Storage shells, again, going to be like a $20-$25 fix, loose complete. Don is always going to have a 1990 trade. The other three will always have that 1991 trademark because Don was released solo last year or the year before. He did well, so they released all four turtles in the same design. Storage shell turtles have the best head sculpt of any vintage turtle, in my opinion. Just the faces on them are really cool and really well done. Then you hit Mutant Military. Again, you're in the $25 range, $25-$30 range, so nothing there. There is a variant on Lieutenant Leo, dark camo and light camo. No price difference at all. Talking Turtles, I don't think we get any we don't get any variants there. And Talking Turtles, they're just not worth very much.
Those things even work. I don't want to cut you off. Those little strips, even for those who don't know, if you guys now you could probably watch a YouTube commercial on these Talking Turtles because the idea sounded pretty cool. Because you're supposed to pull a little strip into your turtle and it's supposed to say Cowabunga. But instead of using the voice actors, I don't know if or something that sounded like a turtle from the show, it was Cowabunga. Like it plays like an Alvin and the Chipmunk, like a fast forward VHS tape or a fast forward, CD. So, do you have any of these that actually work in your day? Like the strip would actually sound crisp?
I've had ones that worked over the years quite a bit.
Okay.
None of them work great. So what you got to imagine is a quip strip is what the name of that little red strip is. A quip strip is basically like a record. It's got little bumps on it, and you're pulling it through a reed, and that makes the sound. So you have to have a good reed and a good quip strip that has nice bumps on it or whatever, and then you have to pull it through at the correct speed. And it'll give you a pretty good sound if you have a good one.
Okay.
But does it sound exactly like it's supposed to? No. I did. At one time, I had a whole bunch of these. And I went through every one just trying to figure out which one sounded the best. And those are the ones I kept at the time. But it was very fun and very weird and oddly entertaining to do. But no real value in those. Like, loose complete, I wouldn't pay more than $10. Now, I'm talking loose complete with weapons. Now, with quip strips, loose complete, it's probably a $20-$25 figure. But if it's just the weapons, the quip strips are always missing. So
yeah. And
you get three accessories. You get 3 accessories with each one. If it's just the turtle and the 3 accessories, $10-$15. 15 is an absolute max. I personally wouldn't pay that, but I mean, if you want one, go ahead. But definitely a $10 figure. They're not very cool. They're clanky. And like you said, they don't even really talk.
Yeah, and their shells are just, it looks like a broken boombox. The shell design is awful on those. And the same thing with the head dropping ones. If you wanted to talk about those just really quick for it's cool for like 5 seconds. You push a head down. Maybe it was just because of the movie you got that spot where Michelangelo does, God, I love being a turtle. He puts his head in. And maybe that's where they got the idea from for this toy. But for those who don't know, a head dropping turtle, you just put the head down. You can squeeze his legs and his head pops up. That's it. It's cool you can do it maybe once or twice. And for those, while Josh walks away real quick, I want you guys to stick around for the end of the video because we are going to have a bonus here. Now, I did like my sports figures a little bit. I do have my Donatello just because it is a parody of one of the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. And we also have the turtle mini head parodying Jordan. Oh, there he is. There's the head dropping turtle. Yes. So, and it makes a little clicking noise. Whoop-de-doo.
But the head dropping turtles gave us this is my absolute favorite variant of the vintage line.
Ooh.
So this was it wasn't released in 1991, but it's the exact same figure as 1990. But instead of green weapons, he has blue weapons, like the Euro Turtles. So in 1997, they re-released a bunch of different lines in what's called the Ninja Power releases.
Okay.
So it was a whole different card back, and they released Head Dropping and Sewer Spitting and Ninja Action and a bunch of other ones all on the same generic card back. And Wrath in the Head Dropping line was the only one that got a new color weapon. And this is my favorite variant. So I think that's cool. This Wrath variant,
There was a cool accessory. Didn't one of them have the Coca-Cola parody in the head droppers? Turtle Cola?
yes, the
That's
green
one of my
one
favorites.
actually had a sticker that was like a Coca-Cola
Yes,
knockoff.
I do
The
have that.
blue one didn't come with any sticker
Okay.
on the re-release, so you are remembering that correctly, though.
Nice.
But what was cool with the head droppers, kind of gave them a little extra value, is if you put the little thing right on their head, you could actually shoot it at a sibling or something.
That's a good way to actually put some advantage. That's I never thought of that, but at least give them some sort of value. Yeah, because there's pretty much.
But so that one, if you wanted to buy that figure, the blue weapons one, it's probably 100. I don't know. That one's really tough because it's not very well known, but it is very hard to get. It's very difficult to find that figure.
How about so? Well, the other thing, guys, like I was bringing up is if you stick around, Josh is going to show you guys a cool thing what you can do with these common figures and bring to life custom turtles. So if you want to know what those are, stick around for the end of the video here. But also, Josh, another question with these. Can you bring up what the Euro turtles are and explain what those are? Because some people are going to see that common figure, like, you know, a Euro Leo, and they're like, what does Euro Leo mean? All he does is have different weapons. Why is that figure that you just said goes for maybe 20 to 25 bucks is going for, you know, a couple $100?
It's all okay. It's not all about rare.
Okay.
Because here's something in Ninja Turtles that's very hard. It's in toy collecting in general. Rarity doesn't always equal value, but sometimes it does. Okay? So rarity plus the market demand is what it gives value. So, you know, just like we talked about before with some of the really high dollar figures, you have a lower production number and a very high demand from collectors. That gives you value. With this one with the blue weapons here, what gives it value is that 1 year on that one back, and it's the only figure of the whole 1987 re-release that got different colored weapons. So it's an oddity, and it's very cool. And like I said, it was a very limited. So people collect, you know, any collectible market. The pieces with the lower production runs are going to be more sought after by not necessarily your high-end collectors, but your what we call completists. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Some people are okay with just having the basic assortment like we talk about, and some people want everything. There's a couple, you know, there's many different kinds of collectors. So people like that raise the market on certain figures, and then certain figures are just really well known, and so that drives the price on them. That's kind of what's happened to like Scratch, pretty much. I don't want to say it's an easy to find figure, but its price kind of goes over its scarcity. But it's very wanted by collectors, so that's what kind of bumps that price up. You know, everybody always says, "Oh, it's not even that rare. How do people pay that much for it?" Well, because people are willing to pay that much. That's why people pay that much.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
No, exactly. And it's just again, I would say
economics or whatever you want to call it. But it happens in the Ninja Turtle world just like it happens everywhere else.
That's why we're giving you guys Shellonomics here for our turtle toys here. Pretty much our version of economics. No, I agree, and I think when it comes to turtle toys, like I would say at least intermediate collectors out there for vintage toys, Scratch just rings a bell. I think he's just the guy that stands out. I think the Hotspot figure looks cooler because I'm a dog guy, but yeah, it's kind of my feelings on Scratch. Just when you hear that name, they're gonna pay that premium buck.
Well, when you get into Ninja Turtle collecting, that's generally the first big grail you hear about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're doing an eBay search and scratch, super rare, ultra rare. You see that a lot. So he gets a little more hype than some of the other figures that are actually harder to find, but don't command quite the same value. Uh, you could probably find 10 or 15 scratches on eBay for, I bet more than that, for every one of this Blue Weapons Head Drop and Wrath.
Yeah, and years ago, we both had a good friend that was known as Scratch Daddy, who was on Instagram, who just loved collecting scratch. So we had people who actually army built these scratches.
I absolutely. And Scratch was a short pack in the production run. That's documented. We know that. So he was the hardest to get figure from that year. But like I said, the hype gives it a little more value, and that's cool. That happens all over. Boba Fett gets a little more value in the Star Wars world because people like Boba Fett. He's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree exactly. Supply, demand, and the coolness factor, which is why, like we just talked about, the rock and roll
factor is always a factor.
Exactly. Yep,
so
I still got
wacky action.
Yeah, we got Bebop and Rocksteady with just a little his tongue sticking out. At least the machine gun and Rocksteady was kind of cool, but the Bebop one I didn't care about.
Personal opinion, these are the two coolest wacky action figures, besides the Mauser.
Yes, yeah. Because at least with Bebop, you can take this.
He does exactly what he says he does. You wind him up, his little machine gun arm, and he shoots you. I mean,
which
cool
I
figure, cool. The sculpt of the figure is cool, like his head design's cool stuff. He looks good. They still feel cheap like the other wacky action figures. So
I think this was the only Bebop toy though you could take the sunglasses off, right? You could actually take his shades off.
Absolutely.
Which I thought, I always like that little knock too.
These two are also the more valuable, definitely on the higher end of any of the wacky action ones. I think Bebop sells pretty good. I think he's somewhere loose complete because of like the sunglasses, like you said.
Yeah.
I think he's somewhere like near $50. Might even be more these days. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just shooting off the top of my head. Usually I look these up ahead of time, but I was a little busy today.
Yeah.
Rocksteady's a little cheaper, but I think Bebop's pretty high up there as far as loose complete figures. The ones that you don't really think will sell for that much, he sells for a pretty good price.
Well, that's a good thing to know just when you're checking those common lots on eBay and you're looking either resell or just at least for your own collection. Like, hey, at least I'm getting some good value here for those machine gun and Rocksteadies and head spin and Bebops. We'll briefly talk about the giant Bebop and Rocksteady. These, I think, are a little bit more rare than the original Turtles. And why is that? Just, again, less print or?
Okay. Less print, and these ones didn't sell as well. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
So the Giants, and I think I said this in the last video, the Giants sold really well because they came with full-size weapons.
Oh,
you know
man,
what I mean?
Yeah.
Nunchuck size, swords, a bow. Like, as a kid, you could take that and, be a turtle. Bebop and Rocksteady came with a gun. Everybody had toy guns. We didn't need those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, that's a good point.
And I don't think they were producing the numbers the Giant Turtles were either. So that raises the value a little bit. But with the number that I've seen sealed over the years I would say they didn't do as well in stores.
Sounds about. How much do those guys go for now? Because I know those accessories are really hard to find. It's really hard to find those guns anywhere.
Oh, just the figures are in nice shape as always. I always like to talk about some pretty good shape, near mint. You know what I mean? You're probably talking $100, but with the guns, I bet the guns are 150-ish a piece now, 120, 150. I would imagine, like I said, I'm just spinning off my head, but I know I saw one a few years ago for like 75, like a Rocksteady gun. So I'm positive it's gotten to that point. They're tough to find, but here's another thing where the repro problem kind of hits at stuff. I did notice that there was people 3D printing the guns, and that did drop the price a little bit because we both know that 3D printing is kind of getting good these days, and they're hard to tell.
Yeah.
But I think the only reason it dropped the price is because a few people got scammed by what they thought was the real deal, and then they got a fake.
Yeah, no, I know every group has their own rules, but I know me and Josh are a part of a couple good groups where it's like no repros in here. You will be banned from the group, period, end of story. It really just hurts guys like us who are collecting with integrity here.
Absolutely. It hurts the whole collecting market. It's just
Yeah.
some people don't want to admit it.
No, exactly. You're not helping anybody. You're harming others. Now, if you want to do it for yourself, cool. Just don't sell it to anybody, in my opinion. That's just, like I said, that's just the way I'd go about it. But moving on, we'll keep on some good stuff. I actually like this figure growing up. It's sad that he didn't get a until I think it was 94, the Krang android, but I thought it was cool having the giant Krang. It felt like you were watching the cartoon. What were your thoughts on this figure?
The Giant Krang's one of the coolest figures in the whole vintage line.
Yeah.
They didn't quite make it big enough. Like, it would have been a lot cooler if they sized it up to like the actual giants, like 13-inch. I think it's 11 inches, if I remember right. So just a little shorter than the Giants. But I think if they would have full scaled it to that 13-inch and you could have attacked the sewer playset and stuff, that would have been cool. But I thought, that they made the same Crane Brang and for him as they did for the Bubble Walker, and you know what I mean? Even though there were two different variants, you got the all pink brain and then the veined brain for the Walker. You could interchange them, so that was cool. And he was a really big part of the show, so I just thought it was all to get that figure. The original concept for that figure had all the stuff we saw in the cartoon, the removable hands with different attachments, kind of like NECA did it a few years ago when they released theirs. Awesome. I love that figure.
Yeah, same here. What I'd like to inform those who are just listening now on Spotify and YouTube, Josh, can you help buyers out looking for this Crane? Because in my opinion, this is one of the harder figures to determine your price because you got to pay attention to some things here, and Josh is going to break it down for all you guys. We're talking about the piece in the middle that keeps the Crane together. And can you also inform them about the antenna that I want them to be mindful for too when buying this toy?
So yeah, when you're buying the Krang's Android, the main things you want to look at, he doesn't have a lot of pieces. He's got the two shoulder pad. Sometimes they're missing. Usually they stay on, but you'll see cheap Krang's Androids on eBay and they won't have any shoulder pads, and that's why they're cheap. The front door, the clear plastic piece, that's always missing. I think the last one of those I sold for $75, just the door.
The door alone? Wow.
And that was probably a pretty good price. I think I probably could have got more if I listed on eBay. Sold that to a guy in the Facebook group, so I was looking for one. I just happened to see his message and said, I just got one of them. And I kind of, I don't know. I felt kind of a deal. Maybe I ripped him off. I don't know. But he was more than happy to pay it. So
flying demand, like you said earlier.
The antenna on top is always broken as well. And even if it's not broken, it's always missing all its paint. It kind of gets a ugly, clear, yellowish color when it's missing its paint. So it shows up. Yeah, I think it's probably about the loose complete in good condition. It's probably $150. I bet it's right around there.
Yeah, no, it sounds all right.
And then the Krang's Android is the all pink brain. The Bubble Walker is the brain with the veins in it. So you see a lot of them for sale on eBay with the wrong Krang in it. And you pay more for the all pink one than you do for the one with the veins, so make sure you get the right one.
Thank you for that, Josh. Yeah, I just want people to be aware of that little headpiece with that antenna, because that's going to be a big difference when you think you're getting a good deal because you got that Krang. If he's missing the antenna, it's not going to be as good a deal as you think, depending on what it goes for. So thank you for clarifying that. All right, now we can start.
I've seen repro antennas on eBay. Good luck putting that on there. Good luck.
God, again, just automatic buzzkill. So technology done the wrong way there. All right, now we can start getting into the fun stuff, which is what me and Josh like, is the basic figures. Real quick though, any I guess just your own opinion why Raphael didn't get a basic figure. So we're gonna kind of go through the three turtles quick. It's cool having the Make My Day Leo. He's like a police officer dude. I mean, a lot of my buddies who are cops actually have that toy just for the fact that it's a turtle police officer. You also have Hose 'em Down Don, and you have Skateboard and Mike. We briefly talk about these turtles here and why Raphael, for some reason, didn't get a basic figure, didn't make the cut. Is it because he had 2 sports figures? I'm curious on your take.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay.
We always go back to like Playmates didn't keep good records of a lot of things, and what we did find is all the years that we didn't get certain turtles, there generally was like a concept or a design or a pre-production figure that for that one we didn't get. Just for whatever reason, they decided that one wasn't going to make it into production, and we didn't get it. I don't. Nothing stands out as a figure we actually missed from this year,
Yeah.
but generally it was something like that. It was just somebody made a decision. This is what we need. This is what we're producing, and that's what we got, man.
Yeah. All right. Now we'll give you a 3 for 1 here because all 3 of these characters were involved in 2 episodes for the Turtles. This is Ground Chuck, Dirtbag, and Tattoo. I like the Tattoo figure, but he's only in like the episode for like 5 seconds. But again, they were just trying anything and everything here. So, what's your thoughts on all 3 of those guys?
Okay, so
Ground Chuck, Dirtbag, and Tattoo.
Ground Chuck and Dirtbag were I had both of them as a kid. Tattoo as well. Tattoo is a kind of a weird figure because he came with them tattoos, but they didn't really make them flexible enough to go on him. Like they always pulled up and like look shitty.
Yeah, he's got to be hard. Is he hard to find, like, complete with those stickers? Kind of like a Mutagen Man with all his pellets? I mean, those stickers are kind of...
Yeah, you know, I have one in my collection. I'm a real big fan of sticker sheets, so I have an uncut tattoo sticker sheet.
Oh, that's right. Oh, is that how he came, Josh? If you bought him new, did it come like that?
Do they come with a sticker sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow,
Tattoo comes with a sticker sheet.
Oh, wow.
It's got all those little tattoos on it.
Oh, that's good to know. I never saw one in the package, so I always thought that they came on there. Wow, I didn't know people actually put those on there. Okay.
Yep. So there's one that could be put on at the factory. There's a belly tattoo. I think it's kind of like flames on both sides of his belly.
Okay.
That one could be put on at the factory or could come off. That's a packaging variant for that one.
Okay.
They did come with a small sticker sheet of clear stickers you could put on them, and then also they made the glue like extra sticky. So when the sticker came off, the figure just stayed nasty.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You got to kind of have one in your hands to feel what Josh is talking about to set the stage. But since I've had a couple tattoos and seen them at the flea markets, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But so one of my favorite things about Tattoo is because he has the cool arm joints. Most of the Ninja Turtles figure have like single swivel arm joints, but a few like Tattoo have like that weird arm joint, or is that his leg joint?
No, I think it's the arm. I'm looking at it right now on the side. I can see he's got like the screws on where his shoulders are and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
You get a lot better arm movement from that one. I like that. You know, they didn't use that on a lot of figures for whatever reason, but like Mutant Military 2, Bebop, and Rocksteady have arms like that. Half the Magician has arms like that, and Ace Duck has arms like that. They're better.
No, I agree. And again, with Dirtbag, this is almost like Triceraton. You got to make sure he's got his tail.
Absolutely. Dirtbag's usually got a tail broken. Let's see. Tattoo is one of the cheaper figures. Loose Complete, he's like a $15 figure. He only comes half, and then like his sticker sheet's going to cost you money, but you don't need that to be complete. I mean, you do, but
yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good tip right there, Josh. Okay.
That's one of them things, you know. Nobody cares. Like some people collect them, some people don't. Nobody's going to judge you either way. Ground Chuck and Dirtbag are different because they're kind of sought after figures because everybody had them when we were kids.
Yep.
I think I just generally sell them in the 25-30 range, you know, so going up from everything else. They're like I said, Dirtbag's got that really little small knife that's always missing, and then Ground Chuck's got the wrist gun that's always missing.
I thought that crossbow was pretty cool. He got 2. Plus, they're in the third video game.
You put all his guns together. I never knew it did that. Never. I found that out as an adult. I was like, what the hell?
Pre-Power Rangers with the Power Blaster, pretty much.
And they made it to where it actually fits perfectly and locks in. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, good look. That I like these two guys. I thought they were cool in the show. I wish they would have been in more episodes, and I think they're only in maybe 2 or 3. But they stand out for me more too because they were a part of Turtles 3 for NES, which is a fantastic video game. So
yes, absolutely.
let's see who we got next. Let's do one that was he was in the comics but was never actually a part of the show. Sergeant Bananas.
Yeah, Sergeant Man's cool figure. Good. Good design. It's a much bulkier figure than your normal. Obviously a gorilla in a banana print camo. I mean, it screams Ninja Turtles. He's got a lemur for a sidekick. He's got a banana gun. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Exactly. And again, most of these figures, Josh, kind of about the same price, like you say, in the $15 to $30 range. That's what's nice about these.
So Sergeant Bananas is probably starting at the $30 range. Probably a little above Dirtbag and Ground Chuck.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's probably because it's the little sidekick. It's pretty sought after, but cool figure.
Yeah. Same with me. Another one I like. Now I only got this one. This figure stands out to me because this is when when you get good grades in school, some parents will reward you. So for me, that's how I got my Walkabout figure. I thought he was cool, and I like his little sidekick. Were you a fan of Walkabout?
Walkabout is awesome. He's our Australian one, the kangaroo. Once again, Ninja Turtle strikes, and your Australian Ninja Turtle is a kangaroo. So, Kid Kangi's a sidekick. Comes with a boomerang. I mean, it's the Ninja Turtles are very stereotypical whenever they could be.
Yeah. When they got they just like to play. I actually botched one too, and a technicality is because someone's probably going to comment on our YouTube channel. Chrome Dome was actually a part of that episode too, with Dirtbag, Tattoo, and Ground Chuck. So, your thoughts on Chrome Dome and why he wasn't a giant like Krang kind of figure? Because in the cartoon, remember, he was taller than everybody, so I was a little shocked that he was the same height.
That's your Night of the Rogues.
Yeah.
Isn't that the episode you're talking about?
No, he's actually in the other ones because they were actually building him. And what's funny is
that's right.
Planet of the Turtleoids. Now it came the name of the episode. It's a 2-parter. It was a primetime special too, believe it or not.
Yeah. Okay. So Chrome Dome's an awesome figure. I got one sitting over.
Yeah, I am a fan of Chrome Dome as well. He's a big dude. He's if you guys ever want to see him in a video game, be sure to check out Shredder's Revenge. He, Ground Chuck, Dirtbag, a whole bunch of dudes are in that game. Here he is. Oh wow, looking sharp.
I got a Euro Chrome Dome here, so he's got a blue belt, the light blue instead of the dark blue, but same figure. He's got real cool wings on the back. So when I saw this, the first thing I thought was Silver Samurai from X-Men.
Ah, yeah, hey, that's a good call.
It's just a complete ripoff.
Yeah. So which toys were Euro figures? Like, this is the first. I was this days old to learn that Chrome Dome had a Euro figure. So what lines did everybody have a European figure?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Is it 12 or 11? It's Chrome Dome, Toka, Razar,
okay,
Rapid Mike, Heavy Metal Raph, Slam Dunk and Don, Slapshot Leo, TD Tossin Leo, Shell Kick and Raph. That's 9. Sergeant Bananas. That's 10. And
so it's pretty much what's from
and Super Shredder, that's 11.
Oh, okay. Damn. So that is okay. Thank you for letting us know. It's pretty much just the top 12 now. I never knew that because I was like, where are these real figures coming from? And so again, how much there's a big price difference in regards to those accessories too. So do you ever find a lot of these in the States nowadays, or do you actually have to, like, for those who are listening for the first time, do you have to buy these from eBay in the UK? Do you ever see any American sellers with these?
Yes, these were not sold in the American market. You can find them over here. It's going to be super rare to find them anywhere in the United States, except for in the Ninja Turtles collection. They were sold in the European market, but like Italy, France, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, Spain, places like that. They had different rules than us, so all the accessories are blue. All the wrist joints are glued, like on Chrome Dome. His wings are permanently glued on the Euro figure.
Wow, that's good because you can't lose them.
But so whereas you'd pay probably what $40 for a loose complete Chrome Dome if he was nice with nice chrome, a loose complete Euro Chrome Dome is probably a $400 figure.
400. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A big difference, and that's why I want to make sure people pay attention. So that's obviously the easiest way right there to tell if you're getting a Euro Chrome Dome or not. Because again, we just talked about with the repros, there are some scammers out there and stuff,
Well,
and they can
but
try.
then you also have U.S. sellers who could just glue the
Yeah,
wings in.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. You got to be
So
careful out there. So, what's your advice? I guess let's talk about this really quick then, Josh. If you have any advice for those who are trying to buy these European figures, or how to keep an eye out for, besides the
okay,
accessories,
so
how do they stand out?
the bed, well, just not to how they sound. They all have these light blue weapons. That's the number one.
Okay.
So that's Chrome Dome's mace, but in that light blue instead of red.
Okay.
You see, and then there's this little sigh.
Okay.
So the wrists are glued on Eurofig. Uh, Let me grab one real quick.
No, I appreciate that, Josh. Yeah, 'cause this is something that, to me, that's important because again, we're trying to help out the toy community out there, not spending money when it's not necessary. Okay, here's a perfect example. Here we go.
This is a Euro Razar right here, okay? So on the American version of Razar, you're going to get a gold chest plate, and on the Euro version, it's black. But on all the Euro figures that have wrist articulation, see right here, let me turn it. Right here it is wrist.
Yeah.
On the Euro figures, it's glued, like super glued. There's no, you can't turn the wrists at all, none of them. Uh, they were afraid these joints were going to pop off and be a choking hazard for kids. And I think that has something to do with why the accessories are all one color blue as well. Easier to find, you know what I mean? And make sure your
Yeah.
kid wasn't going to choke on something off the floor.
Yeah. Exactly. And then a standout blue. I always thought the Euros were kind of cool. I like that little. I mean, I like my variety, but it is kind of cool having a simplified of just all those blue accessories. I think they're nice. I like them.
They're very cool, very sought after, especially in the United States. So the best way to get them in the Facebook groups, if you make friends with a German Ninja Turtle collector, I've got plenty of them that way. But also, as a person in the U.S., you can actually go to eBay Germany and then use Google Translate to just translate it and look at all their listings. And if you because that's where I find them the most is eBay Germany. If you see one, you can just message the seller and say, "Hey, are you willing to ship States if I pay for shipping?" Generally, they just say yes. I've got some pretty sweet deals on them that way.
Good way to go. I guess we'll keep on these movie star. Well, not the movie stars, but the Turtles 2 figures, Toka, Razor, and Super Shredder. So, my favorite. I always liked Razor's accessory. I always thought his little headstone, the RIP sign, was pretty cool. That's one of my favorite things that stand out. But yeah, what do you like about these guys, and how much whatchamacallit, any favorite weapons you got from Toka, Razor, and we will get the Super Shredder last because we're going to talk about an exclusive Super Shredder figure after.
So they pushed these ones really hard, obviously, because the new movie was coming out. These were the new characters from that new movie. So they actually got their release in 1991, I think in line with the movie. And then, we didn't see the movie star Turtles until the next year. Very cool figures. They were very sought after. I bet these flew off the shelves because Turtle Mania was happening. Everybody loved the Turtles, and then the movie came out, and then the second movie was coming out, and with these new characters. So very cool. Like you said, his tombstone shield, and then that little skull with the little snappy jaw was awesome.
That's right. Yep.
And then he has the little grappling hook spider guy. I mean, his weapons are all cool. The figures, the weapons kind of don't go anywhere along with the movie. Yeah. But the figures do very well. Very screen I don't want to say screen accurate, but very at least similar to what we saw on the screen. What's funny about Toka they reused Slash's legs and torso and just made Toka. So he generally has the same mold marks. I don't think I have a Toka here, but same mold marks as the Slash.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. And he's got like some like kind of like spiky club bit. Now, isn't it? Isn't that Slash's weapon too, or no? That little like.
Actually, he has the exact same weapons as Slash, but in black. He has the same belt as Slash, except it doesn't have the Slash S on it. It's got a little foot symbol on it.
Oh wow, okay. And now let's do a little Super Shredder here. So, can you tell us about the? You already mentioned there's the Euro Super Shredder, but how about the Chef Boyardee Super Shredder?
Yeah, so Chef Boyardee Super Shredder. If you were eating Chef Boyardee pasta in 1991, you could mail off 10 proofs of purchases, or I think it was 10. Plus $3.95 shipping and handling, and they flag. So the regular Super Shredder is purple. Chef Boyardee Super Shredder is black. You can buy a regular Super Shredder on the movie star card for probably $60. Probably a bagged Chef Boyardee Super Shredder is probably $700-800, something like that.
In your collecting days, because you're a heavy eBay user, per chance, did you ever find a Super Shredder Chef Boyardee on the cheap in any of your Facebook or eBay sales?
Yeah.
Wow.
At one time, I actually
This seems interesting.
on the visual guide page, I shared an eBay score I got. I want to say it was 2017, but I got 3 Chef Boyardee Super Shredders in one lot for $66.
That was it just Super Shredders in the lot?
No, there was a bunch of other stuff too. It's on my page. I just have to find it.
What a hell of a find there. That's a pretty cool story. I mean, 3 for the price of 1 and that lucky 6.6 instead of 6.60, which is what you saved for one of them. Now, wow. Congrats on that. That's why I can say it's always nice putting in that effort because you never know when it's going to pop up. So, the hunt never leaves either of us. All right, let's go to. I think we got maybe 3 more on this basic line here before we get to our custom talk. We could talk about this guy, Space Usagi, a variant I don't think we ever needed. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's kind of a cool design. I believe you said in another episode it's the same helmet that Raph's helmet is in the astronaut Raph. Is that correct?
No, they're completely different. It's a 2-piece helmet on Space Usagi.
Oh, okay.
But same issue. It's almost always missing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's always that's what I meant to say. It's always hard to find that helmet.
Yeah, he's also got a cape that's always missing. I think Space Usagi was like a spinoff from the comic books.
Oh, okay. So that's where he came from.
I think that's where he ties into that line. I think he went to space in the comics. So, but yeah, not the coolest figure to me.
Yeah, same here.
Regular Usagi's way better.
Yeah, I agree. We don't really have to talk about him much. This one, I don't know where he came from. Do you have any updates on Worm? I don't think he's that bad. I think he would have been kind of cool to have in the toy line. I know he was in the commercials, but it would have been cool if he was in a cartoon. Can you talk about Worm for a little bit?
Yeah, Worm's a cool figure. Is a sanitation worker that got mutated and turned into a big trash worm. Very similar in the gross out factor to like a Muckman or something like that. Very, I don't know, very like kind of like gross figure it's supposed to be. Worm holds a pretty good value because of the 7 little worms he comes with, or 5 little worms he comes with. I can't remember.
Oh,
but
okay.
They're very tiny and they're always missing. I don't know, like what a loose worm price sells for $50 if it's complete.
Pretty good value there. And then last but not least in this run, this is Neutrino. I'm a little shocked it took them a couple years to get these guys out because they were a part of that 5-episode miniseries. Can we talk about the one Neutrino and why you think they didn't release all 3 at the same time?
Beats me. The neutrinos are probably definitely in my top of my list for side characters. Hot Rod and Teenagers is my all-time favorite episode. Uh, we got Zach, and they gave him his hoverboard, which we wanted. They gave him his blaster, which we wanted. So that was cool. But yeah, it is the only one we got this year, and we take a couple more years before we got the. Uh, I love the figure. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I like him too. I mean, it's just and now, when does his variant come out?
With the Toon Turtles, you get Toon Zack in the variant.
Okay, so that's not this year. Okay.
Yeah, that's not till 1993. Yeah,
Okay.
93.
Which we'll be getting to eventually. All right, guys, that is the end of that. But we're gonna do a little bonus here. Now we brought up this earlier. Custom turtles. So right here, you're gonna see a Donatello in a basketball uniform. But Josh, can you show us what a slapshot Leo can turn into if done by a right character? And I guess any kind of history or any info you have on these custom turtles, you know a lot more than I know. That is a stellar looking Michelangelo right there. He's ready to go.
I'm a huge Philadelphia Flyers fan, and I live in Southern Illinois, so there's not a Flyers fan. But my cousin bought me this for Christmas last year, and a Ninja Turtles customizer named Billy Schellenberger. I think it's called Schellenberger Customs, I believe. I really should go to my shelf and look. I've got a card from him.
Very nice. That's why I customs are a good way to go. So again, if you're just looking for a cool way to bring your own value to these figures, this is a great way to do. I did one of these for my brother for football. I got the Leo as a Chicago Bear. Oh wow.
Yep, that's Billy Schellenberger did that. Very cool custom. I really appreciate that a lot. Eric Lindros was my favorite player, and this is Mikey Lindros. So another custom you can do. What's awesome is Playmates didn't just release Ninja Turtles; they released a lot of other lines, and heads are pretty easily swappable in all the Playmates figures, from Earthworm Jim to Dick Tracy. This is a Dick Tracy General Trag mix. I don't remember what Ben called him, but Benjamin Baldwin made this one for me. Customs that people make for me get their own little special place up on a so these ones are always front and center in my collection.
Now, did you ask for that custom, or he just felt that was his calling to give you that? Like, what's any story behind that custom?
Ben makes all them. I'm a big General Trag. I don't know why. At one time when I was kind of crazier, I army built them, and I don't anymore because I try not to be a hoarder. This is one of my favorite customs. This is the Cool Kids Mikey. If you know what the cool kids are, you're a cool kid. And then these, the great and powerful Isaac Clifford, the man, the myth, the legend from down under, made me punk frogs. This is all out of the same exact figure, Genghis Frog, and he made me the whole punk frog set. He painted all their vests. I mean, these guys, look at that. He did such a good job. And then he took weapons from the whole vintage line and made weapons. Made weapons just like this is Pizza Face's shield, and that's Wacky Action Leo's little mace thing, and that's Panda Khan's axe and Sewer Samurai Leo's shield, and then he's got the whip from Wacky Action Leo on that one, and that's Wacky Action. So those are nice cheap accessories that he just put some paint on, and look how good that looks. That's Wacky Action Mikey's little green plate thing.
So you finally got some use out of those Wacky Actions, since they're pretty much all in their customs here. And again, like we were saying, it's just a great way to bring life to these toys that you can get, in the bargain bin most of the time. Real quick, what would you expect a person to pay for a custom figure? Because it's almost like, asking an artist to do a commission for you. So any advice for those looking to get their own custom figures?
So really, it depends on what you want done. Like, I have no idea what you would charge for these ones. Okay. But, I mean, if I spent the time to do these, I would have a hard time selling these for less than $50 a piece.
I would say it's a fair price,
Yeah.
50 USD. I would kind of think the same thing.
They might even be worth more to me. These ones are never leaving my collection, so they're priceless.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just look how good the Napoleon Boner Frog looks compared to the Playmates one we got. That other one looks like a horrific toad. It looks nothing like the character.
Isaac did such a good job.
Yeah,
on
with
these,
the colors
man.
on their
I
shirts,
love it.
everything. Yes, agreed.
And then this is the only custom I've ever done. And I told you guys that I loved High Riding Teenagers. So this is the star car from High Riding Teenagers, and you just take a foot cruiser and you just spray paint the son of a bitch. That's what I did. You got to tape off a whole bunch of parts, but you can make it look pretty awesome.
I would agree. It's a shame we never got one of those released again since they had the neutrinos, and we've gotten what 30, maybe, I don't know the head count of vehicles. I'd say it's in the 30s, maybe even the 40s when you count the tugboats and the bikes and all that, and they just couldn't get a Star Cruiser out there. All right, Josh, this episode's just about done. Where can people find you if they want to get more of a shellication?
Well, I'm on Facebook at just regular old Josh Melchart. If you ever look at Josh Visual Guide to Vintage TMNT, and I'm on eBay at Melchart's Guide. Hit me up or follow me if you want to learn more.
All right, Josh, appreciate your time as always, brother.
Yep, you have a wonderful night, sir.